We must have a lag then.
Welcome to Block Island. This is the SFC.
Oh yeah, we keep clicking off these championship events. We're flying our way through stop number 9 of the Sport Fishing Championship. We're new partners with the SFC. It's the 22nd annual Tri-State Canyon Shootout here in Rhode Island.
This is Sport Fishing Championship.
And we're bringing it to you live to all the fans around the world watching the Tri-State Canyon Shootout from Block Island, Rhode Island. New Harbor Boat Basin to be exact, as our backdrop is about 90 boats have taken off in these past 2-3 days, getting ready to fight for their share of $1.17 million for the local side of things, but still we have to crown an SFC champion at the end of August. You can always click on to that QR code, catch all the action of the Sport Fishing Championship. I'm Robbie Floyd, joined by Peter Miller. We'll have Katie Sawyer in just a bit. But Peter, we know that there's big fish in these waters. We know there's a lot of variety in these waters as well, as we're looking live at Team Lights Out.
Hey, Robbie, we've got about 400 anglers competing in this event, and they are producing fish. This is a live shot from Lights Out, doing work out there on those canyons. You know, this is the ring where you cannot exceed. You're at 150 miles to the max, 100 miles. A lot of guys are fishing right on those canyons and those crevices right there. We are sitting here in Block Island just loving it, and I finally got my lobster sandwich, Robbie.
You did a couple of times over. Again, that ring showing you the 150. Officially, when I look at the rules, 165 miles from the southwest ledge. I'm Robbie Floyd. He's the champ, done it so many times. 3-time world sailfish champion alone, just the sailfish?
Well, Robbie, listen, it's been a long time. You got to participate in a lot of events. It's a lot of work. 18 tournaments a year for about 30 years. Yeah, somehow you get there. And but to come here to Block Island and watch these guys produce fish, you know, we're seeing we're seeing white marlin, we're seeing spearfish, blue marlin, tuna, mahi, wahoo, you name it, and swordfish of all things. They're catching quite a number of those as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. When we were at the Oak Bluffs Blue Water Classic, just at the last round, we caught everything in our billfish category except for the sailfish. Sailfish is one of their categories. Are we going to see one and finally see all 5 here at an SFC event, you think?
I think so. I think so. But let's take a look at our event leaderboard, Robbie. I think this is going to be some telling things we're about to see here.
Absolutely. As T0 with 1,075 points. Now, you gain points by the different billfish you catch, like blue marlin 350, white marlin 125, but gypsy not too far behind at 925, and unofficially they have the first blue marlin of the tournament.
It's only 150 points away, Robbie. That's 2 sailfish. That's pretty easy. I think they could do it. But then you've got Backlash and 5Cs tied for 4th place, and you know, they're catching fish. Listen, there's a lot of boats, 90 boats, 400 anglers, close to 40 billfish caught so far. We are having a ball out here at the Tri-State Canyon Shootout.
Everything we say is officially unofficial, but we know Team T0 is one of the boats to look for. The 70-foot Ricky Scarborough, Captain Seth Laws out there. They're pushing those outer limits, getting 165 from that particular area, and we see what they do, Peter. Now, the longer lines means they're probably searching. When they're going back and forth, it means they're probably finding.
Yeah, you can see some of these lines. Sometimes they call it mowing the lawn when you're going back and forth, but you see these Garmin lines off their, their track or their track marks, and you can see them focusing and circling in certain areas. Obviously, if there's bait, if they're marking fish, they're going to go back to that area consistently. So now you see the mate in the left-hand corner of your screen. Big reel. I don't know if that's an 80 wide or a 130. I believe that's Tian Schultz. And he's got his GoPro strapped to his chest as always. He's got the mic. He's the leader man normally, but right now he's baiting a fish. You know, they're going to have the teasers coming in. They're going to have the dredges coming in. He's waiting, fingertip, usually, and thumb on the line. He sees the fish. Everything's coming in. He's going to get ready to drop back.
Now, T0 finished, I believe, in the top 10, 7th place at the Oak Bluffs Blue Water Classic. One of our teams to look for. Yep, he's pitched, but they see something. Are they going to catch something?
And there is their dredge. That's underwater footage of their dredge.
There's a fish back there moving around, Peter.
On the left-hand upper corner of your screen, there is a marlin that pounces on the bait, but that is a deboned mullet dredge right there, and luckily they caught that on camera, and we're going to see if he hooks up.
We've been waiting to see some of these dredge shots. We've seen stuff from you from down in Miami and different parts of the world, but this was here at this tournament this week. T0, Josh Benton is hooked up.
That's right, and that is a blue marlin hookup. You know, we saw it there on the screen. We're going to get some more of that footage in from what we hear. You know, it's pretty exciting to be able to have a couple of guys that know what they're doing on that one side and be able to work without even speaking. You know, the one guy moves out of the way, he pitches his bait, and he winds up hooking up with the fish. Helps in his bucket harness right there in the chair. He's going to strap in and go to work.
Again, once you have that handle pass, that's the last time anybody else can touch it. Again, looking underwater, and this is live this week. We're live here in the basin on shore, but seeing the stuff, I'm seeing the sargassum as well. This caught up on the dredge.
And you can see what happened there. As the blue came up, he ate. They stopped the boat. The dredge is going to come in. You can see the dredge just kind of start to sink, and they're going to bring that in. Now they're backing up. If they didn't bring it in, obviously they're going to run it over. The squid chain with a ballyhoo on the end or whatever they have on the end to get that little taste, they brought that in, and now they're going to work. You can see that rubber band on the reel. We always put a rubber band on the reel when we know something's up with it. Maybe we're having a little problem with it, or maybe we need to fix the drag or do something, but I think he's going to be all right. He's doing work, but he is really grinding. That's a rotator cuff grinder-rooski.
He's fighting. You hear him. He's making up ground, though. That's a plus, because oftentimes we'll see people boat up not going anywhere, but that's why you have that headset, that communication. The captain's telling you what he's about to do.
And you can tell when they're backing up like that, when you see all that whitewash and you hear reel, 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 you know the fish is close to the boat. They're spinning, you know, they're going from corner to corner. They're going to be turning his chair. Their mate's going to be ready with, you know, whether it's going to be a tag stick or his mate saver, and they are actually really close to this fish.
Saw a little adjustment over to the right where those rubber bands were. Again, you can see the prop wash and how this boat is turning around. The fish doesn't always stay behind the boat. It wants to swing around to the sides, and you have to adjust as both the angler, the way that you're facing, but the boat, he's the captain determines that.
That's right. We've got Tian on the leader right there. He's taking wraps on the leader. GoPro's going in, getting that underwater footage, that coverage that we all love to see. And they have the fish on the leader right there in the prop wash. You see that big back of that blue marlin getting released right there. Dredges are hanging in the air, and he takes one last jump and says, see you later, guys. See you next week.
Sweet drone shot as well. I mean, how many different looks did we just get of that fish?
It was a full 3D-orama.
That is perfect there, Team Zero, Blue Marlin. And we thought that could have been the team with the first Blue Marlin of the tournament. We don't know where that one fit in the big picture, but look at this underwater footage as it was happening here in the tournament, and we got to see that fish strike that dredge, and then they get it up to the boat.
Been out on 6 or 7 trips trying to catch a blue marlin. I was joking with these guys before the trip started. Like, hey, it'd be great to finally get a blue marlin, and fitting that it was the first fish of the day here. So, hooking up, I mean, obviously, you know, you expect it to be a big boy, but getting in the seat and pulling it in was definitely tiring, especially, I never fought something that big before, so that was great. Good time, and glad we could get it in the boat, or as far as tag, so.
He gets to go for a swim later.
Yeah.
This is true. And again, a strike at that dredge. The swimming part, that's if you catch your first blue. I mean, it's customary. You got to do it, right?
Oh, yeah. It's part of the initiation. It's part of the whole tradition. You've got to get in there.
Look at all of the catches for Team T0 as they are making their way back. We have featured teams out there on the water. Again, there were 57 teams that were done by yesterday. There's 26 teams that will be coming in today, and there'll be 5 left to fish tomorrow for our CBS Sports Network coverage. But again, they have that barrier that they deal with. You can go to the outside, or maybe you go inside. Let's take a look at 5Cs, Peter.
That's right, Robbie. That is a 64 Viking, and they are fishing much closer to shore. It's, you know, it's a question of where you find the bait, where you find the birds, where you find the opportunities. And this opportunity has led them to a blue marlin. That rod is screaming. They're getting them ready to go to battle, taking everything in as usual, preparing for, who knows, 10 minutes, 2 hours, you never know, but they're getting ready for everything. They're bringing this one in. You know, once you get that one bite, once you're on, you want to bring everything in once you commit to it and go after the fish. Albert Seabag is the angler on 5Cs, doing a great job taking up that line right there.
64-foot Viking out of New York, so really close to their home water. Steve Fernandez, the captain of that vessel.
You know, you see that reel there, Robbie. That is a reel that houses a high gear ratio, which is appropriate for a lot of different species of fish. And now they create them in such a fashion that you're able to actually push the drag up. There was a point where they had really fast retrieve reels, but the drag wasn't as powerful, it wasn't as strong, and it wasn't as consistent. But now they're able to do both all in one reel.
They're having a good time.
There it is.
Now they're having a really good time. Good to see it.
That's dinner and a show, especially if you got two. That's a nice fish right there, Robbie. That fish is just leaping away, having a great time out there.
And if that's their blue, it was on day 2 at 10:40 in the morning. Oh, yeah, that's definitely their blue.
That's what you want to see. That's what these guys live for, Robbie. They fish their entire lives to get to these moments where the fish is next to the boat just blasting through the water.
Again, big fish. You're seeing it on screen right there. Now, in the Sport Fishing Championship, it makes no difference whether it's a monster-sized fish, a grander, or a 200-pounder. They all pay the same as far as points.
That's right, and it's exciting. You know, some of these smaller fish get out of the water a lot more than the big fish. These big fish have a tendency to kind of just come out with their heads, and they don't do too much work. But the little guys go absolutely wild. Sometimes you actually have to watch for them, that they might jump in the boat, and you have to spin the boat out of position, and you risk actually having a problem with the fish getting into the cockpit of the boat. We've all seen it on Instagram and YouTube. It's not, you know, it's not a one and done. You got to be aware.
350. Look it off. Our YouTube fans are appreciating this. They're going to have an opportunity to watch the CBS Sports Network show at the top of the hour. We're going to be going through a lot more fish catches today, yesterday, and the day prior.
Nice work. Nice work. Great job. Great job. World class fish, dude. Release. Great job, Jeff. That was the craziest fight I've ever had. It's the first fish of the season. Woo! How about that? Get him out.
That's awesome.
Nice
That
job,
is awesome.
gentlemen. Nice job, Al. That was all of 450, 500 all day, dude. Awesome. Got a lucky bite on a worm there, which is a tuna lure. It's a rubber lure. It was like a 450, 500 blue, 175 liter, so not ideal, but the boys got it done. Released a nice blue and set him back out. Nice job, guys. Nice job, Al. Dude, give me a hug.
Good job, Captain.
That was mostly you. But get out of here, man. Holy crap. Awesome fish, dude. Released, done. Nice.
So, Robbie, what they're getting after here is when he said it's not the optimal situation to have a 175 leader, what he means is that fish is so big that when they wag their bills across that leader of 175 pounds as opposed to a 400-pound leader with a mackerel, sometimes you get a little worried. You know, you might chafe them off if they're going absolutely wild. That fish was the fish that could have done it, but didn't.
And that's also, you see, that's their day 2, which was their first day, and they start off their first day of fishing with a blue marlin. They would catch several, including some of our championship fish, like the yellowfin tuna. We know there's big eye in these waters as well. We've got more ahead here for the Sport Fishing Championship.
SFC coverage of the Tri-State Canyon Shootout is sponsored by Frito-Lay, Total Home Performance, Denison Yachting, and by Salt Life.
When it comes to performance, comfort, and functionality, we've got you covered. Performance apparel designed by anglers to make your time on the water better than ever. Salt Life, the official apparel sponsor of the Sport Fishing Championship.
Whether you like to ride the wind, find your secret cove, or reel them in. Plot your paradise with GPS Map Series. from Garmin.
This spring, settle in and reconnect with one another. South Padre Island has so many great places to stay. Condos, resorts, and hotels. Oh my! Book your spring getaway today. And start making memories poolside with the people you care about most. Visit SoPadre.com.
When you're serious, you are as excited to wake up for a 4 a.m. fishing trip as you were when you were a kid. It means winning 3 World Sailfish Championships. It means you know what you need and what you don't. Being serious means seeking out the ultimate fishing machine, which is what Peter Miller has found in the unmatched handling, speed, and comfort of an Invincible.
Pine tar, bay rum, all natural, all natural.
It's time for your old soap to take a
hike with Dr. Squatch, the best natural men's soap, deodorant, shampoo, and so much more.
Dr. Squatch is for players like Justin Herbert, who are here to shake things up, who break records and hearts, who are tough on the outside and soft on the skin side, who only use natural performance enhancement and want their end zone to be fresh.
Go to drsquatch.com today. Feel like a man, smell like a champion.
Are you ready for the ultimate luxury fishing experience? Join the Sport Fishing Championship talent on the SFC Experience, where you'll explore incredible fisheries and enjoy world-class hospitality from diverse cultures and SFC partner locations. With the SFC Experience, you'll create unforgettable memories with friends, families, or colleagues. Book your trip today and embark on the adventure of a lifetime with the SFC Experience.
SFC coverage of the Tri-State Canyon Shootout is sponsored by BioLite, Mercury Marine, Durabright, and by Hop Water, a non-alcoholic sparkling hopped water.
Coming at you live from Rhode Island, Block Island to be exact. We've been at Martha's Vineyard, now Block Island. We are in Vacationer's Paradise here in the New England states, the Tri-State Canyon Shootout, the 22nd running. If you want a place to chill for a day or 10 days, this is definitely the place to do it. Welcome, everybody, on site. Right behind me, the New Harbor Boat Basin. There are hundreds, maybe even 1,000 boats piled up there. Peter and I just joined the crew yesterday. Katie Sawyer, you've been here a few days. You've been enjoying this. It's tough. Everybody that's in a picture, too, say, yeah, it must be rough fighting, through the SFC.
It's pretty hard to be mopeding around all week, eating lobster rolls. I got a sweet moped from Aldo's Moped shout out. And Crystal and I actually went over to the Mohegan Bluffs this morning. That was the intro. It's been a great time.
Yeah, but Peter and I got our workout. We got to a walk to the cab, and then we drove the cab, in the cab to here. But there is a lot of cool things to do and see. Championship venues, we were seeing the competition already, but these cities we're going to are pretty solid.
Well, the fact that we get to finally eat those lobster rolls that we've been talking about, and the fact that these guys are catching spearfish, swordfish, marlin, white marlin, they're doing a little bit of everything. So you got to absolutely love this place. There's 90 boats competing. We've got 400 anglers. I mean, what more could you ask for? I
really can't imagine anything better. And there's so many boats competing in this event. We've seen boats docked to each other because there's not enough slip space. They ran low on fuel the first day. I mean, the competition has been thick out here in Block Island.
And you get some of your baby buggy bumpers and just tie up. You're okay as long as we don't have wind. The thing is, we might have some wind tomorrow. Things are going to be a little bit different. All right, you got to talk to some of our team members, right, on T0? And,
absolutely. I had the pleasure to sit down with the young man, Tian Schultz, the first mate of T0. He's an avid fisherman, and we got to look a little bit into the life and what it's like behind the scenes with Tian.
In South Africa, I'm from a small town. We definitely bottom fish a lot, smaller boats, 21-foot to 30-foot range. Nothing like out here, a lot smaller programs, basically launching from beaches and stuff like that. But fishing knowledge still runs deep. A lot of bottom fishing, I would put it up there with the best in the world. But I basically went to college, got my degree in aquaculture. I knew I wanted to do something with the ocean. When I was done with my degree, I was just planning on traveling and just going to see something else. And I met a few friends and they said that they're going to go get on the yachts and work on boats abroad. And 3 weeks later, I was walking around in the south of France working on yachts.
The United States to South Africa, that's how much travel time is that to get back home?
So for me, it's long. It's almost full 2 days of travel. And for me, it's a double-edged sword. Being married, you know, it's hard enough being away from her and she's only a few hours away. That feels like a big distance as opposed to the real distance, which is my family back home. My father, my mother, sister, our whole life revolves around fishing. So just trying to make him proud, family proud. And Dad calls me every day and it's quite much. Yeah, I'm very close.
Your family's probably going to be watching from home. Is there something that you want to say to them?
I don't know if they have CBS Sports, but they definitely follow on YouTube everything I send them. I've got a very good support system back home, so that's always makes me feel good being out here doing what I do. So yeah, so to my family, I appreciate everything you guys have done for me and I hope I'm making you proud.
Why do we have to have a tearjerker right off the bat like that?
I mean, full tearjerker over here.
I mean, if that doesn't make you feel something, I don't know what to say. But Tian, you know, he's far from home. If there's one thing that's super challenging with being far from home is to be so far from your family. You miss so many things. You know, Drake and I were abroad for 8 years, and you miss a lot of important days and a lot of important events.
Yeah, that was a great job you did with Tian there. That was a great interview, and it was really nice to see that emotion with a young man who's following his passion, family man, loves his family, his mom and dad, and you know, that's what it's all about. That's beautiful. Well done.
Absolutely, thank you.
Let's get back out on the water, Team T0, and look at some of their path again and the way that they were looking, trying to get their catch that will be checking in here very shortly over in Champlain's. This is another day 2 catch for them, again bringing in those teasers.
And you'll have these fish, you know, they don't necessarily come in and go to that one side with the teaser. They will jet over to the right side, back to the left, fade back to the long, come back in, you know. So it's kind of a crapshoot, if you will, as to where they're going to go. You have to be prepared for everything.
Absolutely, and a lot of times you'll see them come up on that teaser, come up super aggressive on the teaser, then disappear, and everybody has to be really, really ready at that moment because oftentimes they'll actually hit the long line.
So we're looking at this this prop wash here. You know, we have the cameraman up on the bridge getting the high shot there, so we can see some of the action.
There's got to be a fish in there somewhere, Peter.
Oh, he's already hooked up. I mean, he's hooked up. We got Kim Shearburn is the angler on Team T0. You know, they've cleared everything, and it's time for headsets. And look, he finally got his headset. Sometimes, you know, you don't put the headset on the one guy, he might talk too much. They say, no, sorry, we can't have you with that. It's a little too much. So they finally got his headset. Congratulations.
See Tian to his left now, helping him out as they're pushing back, trying to close ground on that fish.
Calmly coaching him, you know, and, you know, not like he needs his coaching, but Tian will say, hey, you know, maybe move this way, slide this way, talk up to the captain and say, hey, you know, let's cut a little bit, turn the butt end over this way a little bit. He's going under the boat, he's ahead of the boat, you know, so there's a lot of little quiet little moments, but these guys definitely keep it cool, calm, and collected, right, Katie?
Absolutely, and it's so essential, like you touched on it, to have active communication in this moment. You can see that Tian's looking over at the reel, seeing how much line is still out, what everybody needs to do to prep for the big moment.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're backing down right now. There's perfect conditions. They're not getting soaked. It's not sloppy. It's the kind of day that you want to be fighting a blue marlin or a white marlin or whatever it is you're doing. And, you know, it's a give and take, right? You got to have that drag set. You've got to be able to let that fish take off. And when that fish takes off, and if you have to bump forward, you might want to back it off the drag a little bit because it could part the line.
Again, just because they caught the fish doesn't mean they're going to get any points for this fish. They has to make it up. The leader has to make it up to the rod tip or make contact with that leader.
Nice little whitey.
There's the wrap. There's some points right there.
Woo! Hey! Woo! Yeah!
That's nice. That's exhilarating to say the least.
650, baby. 650.
Yeah.
We're climbing. Hey, yeah, so that's another good.
Nice.
Normally I'm grabbing.
Come on, give it. Bring it in here. Uncle Kimbo.
Uncle Kimbo, another 125-point fish for them at 105 on their second day.
And it's, it's really incredible to see the camaraderie in these events. We saw it with 5Cs. We saw it just now with T0 and earlier on that incredible blue marlin.
Actually, that was their first day, but day 2 of the tournament. Going to make a move over to Team Lady Lisa. Up next, the 55-foot Viking, Paul Mowry out of Palm Beach, Florida. Our cameraman Cody on board, getting the good shots.
Not very far offshore. You see, you can get the work done inshore, you can get done offshore. It's just a question of where you park the boat. You make those calls, you find the bait, you find the fish, you find the birds, and you got to put that stuff out. But you've got to be rigging, constantly working. If you're standing there with your hands in your pocket, you're never going to win. Always be working.
And Team Lady Lisa here, we just saw them with a J-hook ballyhoo. These guys are tuna fishing. This is a tuna fishing culture. And for the amount of marlin we are seeing in this event, it's quite spectacular.
See, what do we got back there, Katie?
One thing we know about this is they fish day 1 and day 2.
Another white marlin.
Yeah, back there, way back in the spread, and they're still bringing a teaser or a bird or whatever they're bringing in. They're reeling on that thing fast. But like we always talk about, there could be multiple fish, but once they figure out there's no more fish around, it's time to back down and go after that fish and close the gap. George Jones is the angler, winding fast, quick retrieve on the reels, just getting after that white marlin, 50, 60 pounder.
Absolutely, and that white marlin staying up top, which is why this team is going back so quickly. The wire man, the leader man has his gloves, he's ready to go, and the angler has done an excellent job on that fast retrieve.
They're fishing, their tournament is done. This would be the only billfish that they would catch, the single white marlin. But they decided to fish day 1 and day 2. Not many of our teams did that. Only 2 of our 8 featured teams.
Well, you can see him trying to do the final pumps on this fish. You want to be methodical. You never want to rush it when you get to the end of the fish. This is the critical moment when you want to get your hands on that leader. Nothing too spastic, as you'd say. You kind of want to slowly bring it up, let the mate grab the leader, and it's a done deal.
Keep it nice and easy. And Robbie, you touched on how only 2 of our featured teams fished the first 2 days. And I think that a lot of our teams, we had a lot of teams sit back. And I think a lot of them were looking for fishing reports. They wanted to see what was what offshore.
And some of the guys are strictly fishing for tunas, like you said. And here you have a tuna setup out there, and they wind up catching a white marlin of all things. But hey, if you get a hungry white marlin or a blue marlin, they're going to eat that thing in a second. But typically, a tuna.
It looks like we had some prolific waters out here.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, boys! Hell yeah! More of those. Do it. Get on the mountain. Woo!
Hey, you said 3 o'clock. I said 3 o'clock. It was about 2:40, right?
Looks like we have a shot caller out there.
That's right. He said 3 o'clock. It was 3 o'clock. By golly, I wanted a tuna, but we got a white marlin instead, and it's way back there. That's a lot of times you're fishing for those tunas, and you're keeping your gear way back, way out of the prop wash, hoping for that one tuna that's rolling by and says that looks pretty interesting. I don't see any problem with eating that.
It's a beautiful day in Block Island.
Yes, it is, and a beautiful day for T0, who is checking in. There's about, 26 boats today checking in as we speak over at Champlin's. We know of our 2 featured teams. We don't know what everybody else has. It's going to be a busy couple of hours here. At the top of the hour, we'll be on CBS Sports Network as well, getting live updates. But right now, we think T0's in the lead, but we don't know that T0's in the lead. What do you think, Peter? You think that's going to be it? You think 3 and 2 is going to do it?
Robbie, it's so hard to say with such a steady bite going. What are we looking at here? My screen's a...
We're going to see Strictly Business.
I know seals.
Yeah.
Seals.
It is a seal party. The water is nice and
Got
cool.
my seal of approval.
Puerto Rico, we call ourselves Boricua. We're proud, passionate, and full of life. On our island, adventure finds you. Strangers aren't strangers for long. The size of the audience doesn't change the beauty of the music, and we celebrate every last ray of sun. Live Boricua.
Salt Life, the official sunglass partner of the Sport Fishing Championship.
Every day on the water is a blank canvas. You can reach new waters and ride endless waves. So drop the hammer or the anchor and let adventure be your guide. Mercury engines are made for exploring. So are you. Go boldly.
Hey y'all, I'm Amanda Shaw. We all know Louisiana is as fun as all get out. So get out, take a road trip, and explore our state. Fill her up, then try a new restaurant that's as fun-loving as it is food-loving. Grab the family and take off for monumental adventures at our 21 state parks. Or take a magical minivan tour along our 19 scenic trails and byways. Louisiana's a trip. Take one today.
This is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Plan your road trip at LouisianaStaycation.com.
Whether you like to ride the wind, find your secret cove, or reel them in, plot your paradise with GPS Map Series from Garmin.
When you're serious, you are as excited to wake up for a 4 a.m. fishing trip as you were when you were a kid. It means winning 3 World Sailfish Championships. It means you know what you need and what you don't. Being serious means seeking out the ultimate fishing machine, which is what Peter Miller has found in the unmatched handling, speed, and comfort of an Invincible.
SFC coverage of the Tri-State Canyon Shootout is sponsored by Garmin, Invincible Boats, visit South Padre Island, and by SFC Experience.
There's Champlin's. That's what it looks like. There's where the party's happening. And you know where I used to party in college, Peter? Yes. South Padre Island, Texas International Fishing Tournament, where it's our next stop on the Sport Fishing Championship. Why are you giggling over there, Katie Sawyer?
I just can see Robbie, college-age Robbie, just getting it down in South Padre.
Robbie has not changed. He's locked into 20 years old in this beautiful
20 to 29, buddy. I was going to college. It's going to be our final stop of the Gulf Division. We've already crowned our Gulf champion, but this could play a factor as well as the SFC championship for our offshore title.
Absolutely. We'll be heading back down to Land of the Sailfish. Looking back at last year's TIFT, there was quite a showing from Team Sigsbee Deep. They're from my hometown, you know.
Yeah, everybody was looking for Quantify, but Sigsbee Deep's the only team that beat them.
They are an exceptional fishing team with a great group of anglers, really great people. Couldn't be happier for these guys.
14 billfish released. That is quite a showing, and a scrunchie on his wrist. Keep that hair tie back. You know, I got to keep it in control.
You know, other than what Louisiana last year for Quantify, they struggled there. They struggled again this year, but they were the favorites. They still caught 3 blues, a white, and 4 sailfish, but they lost by 300 and some odd points. But they have to be either the favorite or top 3 for sure.
Oh yeah, you know, with 8 billfish under their belts for that one, and they've had some incredible finishes. And you know, Texas is their hometown. So I think they're feeling really good about this particular event.
And South Padre.
Absolutely. Captain Justin Drummond is actually hometown South Padre Island, Texas. This was their event, and this is when they were crowned.
That's an everyday occurrence on Peter's boat, just popping.
This is when you grow up. It's no longer an ice bucket challenge. It's champagne in a Yeti bucket with ice. That is some high-level ice bucket challenge here. That's taking it to the nth degree.
Champagne showers.
But Matty Champagne knew what to do. He had those goggles on. He was solid. He'd done that before. Blue marlin caught. Look at all the fish catches from
95, Robbie. I'm doing math. I'm crunching numbers. I think I hit 95. I could be wrong, but it was a quick screen grab.
Team lights out. Let's take a look at them. Again, been out on the water both yesterday as well as today. Their check-in time, they still have a couple of hours. I don't know if you can fish all the way up till that point. If these are good fishing waters for that.
I think Team Lights Out actually chose to fish today and tomorrow.
Oh, that's true.
As their 2 days for the tournament.
That's right.
Now, these guys told me that what they want to do is they want to lay back. They really wanted to get an accurate assessment of what everybody else is seeing offshore and make their decision based on that. And there was a squall supposed to be coming in this evening, but it looks like it's pushed out a little bit.
Well, that's good news. You know, you kind of commit to these certain days when it blows 35 and you got to go. It makes for a very, very rough day. But you see that line there of demarcation. You can't go past that, and you got strictly business sitting on those canyons, sitting on those crevices and cracks, working those areas. You know, once again, you know, here they are hooked up, Team Strictly Business, you know, pulling forward, losing lots of line, and then it's time to stop. And then it's time to do some work. That's, is that Electric Johnny? Looks like Electric Johnny.
I was calling it Johnny Electric.
59 Viking.
Absolutely, Electric Johnny, known for his ability to just reel it in.
Yeah, he's got the stamina. He's got the stamina to be able to bring these fish in. For a lot of people, will be like, oh, the fish is resting, I'm resting. Not Electric Johnny. So this fish hits the deck. He's got a nice yellowfin tuna there. And another fish on the other side of the boat. Things are going well.
It's electrifying.
These were late in the afternoon, early business, 7:25 p.m. on their first day, and they are done fishing. They came in yesterday afternoon.
That's why you wear a strap on your glasses. When your tuna shakes that hard and your glasses pop off and they still stay on your head, you have just won.
Sounds like you've lost a pair of Salt Life glasses.
Captain Tommy Howd with the Strictly Business. Fishing been really slow here on the first day of the Tri-State tournament. Trolled around for a couple hours this morning, couldn't get a bite. Decided to do some daytime sword fishing right on the spot where we caught 3 of them last week, and spent 4 or 5 hours probably, and still couldn't get a bite there. And finally put out the spread and started trolling again, and finally got a couple nice yellowfins to the boat.
That's what makes this tournament and a lot of these tournaments so special, because there's such a wide variety of species. You know, when you can bring all these billfish species to the boat, that's one thing. But when you can bring home a little dinner and maybe win $50,000 for catching a championship fish like a yellowfin tuna, that's good news. And these guys have a yellowfin tuna right here at the side of the boat.
And you know, swimming with those yellowfin, oftentimes you might even get a big eye, and that's another potential for $50,000.
And they like the low light conditions. You can see the sun. You know, I'm not sure what we're seeing here. If this is
7:30 yesterday.
7:30. Okay. So they've got a low light condition is really good for tunas. You know, you want to get that first daybreak or just before sun up, and just as the sun's going down, right when it gets dark, they love to eat then because they can see absolutely everything. Ooh, that's a nice one coming in.
Absolutely, and that's why these tournaments up here in the Northeast are so dynamic, because they're actually putting different styles of tackle out in different times of the day to play off of what you just said, Peter.
Yeah, because we don't play, Katie, and that's what these guys don't do. They play for keeps, and they're catching tunas at that sunset. I mean, it's dark over there. They're going to keep redeploying baits and keep doing what they're doing because they're succeeding. And you see that sun setting. It's an absolute beautiful shot.
Stunning. They don't play. They're Strictly Business.
Oh, my gosh. It was a matter of time. Oh, that's actually another boat, isn't it? It just takes time. There's one of our featured boats. T0 Gypsy as it stands right now with the lead. The boats are coming in as we speak. Again, boats like Strictly Business have already done their work out there on the water, as well as Lady Lisa. But a lot of our featured teams are coming in. We know what they did for the most part. But what does that mean? There's another 20-some-odd boats. We have no idea what they did until they check in over at Champlin's. What's going to be our Bo Sons replay of the day, Peter? What's it going to be?
I would have to say it's a giant marlin flopping next to the boat. I mean, I'm just calling it out. I don't know. It's all a mystery to me, but there it is. Hey, listen, that was a good guess. Just for anybody watching, I did not know. And then, Robbie, give me that $100 right now.
Goodness gracious.
I have bet you $1.50, but there really couldn't be.
That's a 500-pounder on a 175-pound leader. That's a quality catch in anyone's book. I mean, those guys were through the roof with excitement on that fish. That is a phenomenal catch. Bo Sons Marine replay. I love that.
His first fish, right? First blue?
I believe that was his first blue. Captain Steve Fernandez on the 5Cs. He actually fishes with Team Gypsy a lot. But today he came out. He went out this week and he put the competition up.
That's a big one.
That replay keeps going. That's the replay you just keep watching just over and over again.
We have an all-star event, Peter. I want you to hook me up with a fish that looks just like that. I need a big blue in my backpack.
How about just a blue? Let's get you a fun-sized one, Robbie. Let's start you off with a starter kit blue.
All right, today, actually at the top of the hour, we're going to be on CBS Sports Network. Make sure you join us. Katie, you ready to do it again?
Oh, I'm ready.
Peter, you ready? I was born ready. Again, we're having a great time here at the New Harbor Boat Basin. Anglers are starting to make their way to Champlin's. That's going to be the weigh-in site. Right now in the lead, T0 with 3 whites, 2 blues, and a whole bunch of points. Stick with us.